Hey guys, welcome back. It is Vortie here, and we're going to be doing a video on the Halloween stuff. Yeah, the old goody woodies of Halloween. What the hell? Sounds so delayed off on this stuff. What a crazy whack-a-mole thing going. What is going on? What is going on? Anyways, so as you guys probably know, there's been some pretty crazy Halloween events going on right now. Let's get to that. Actually, we'll talk about that right now. So, the inner chamber. I was going to make a video kind of doing the inner chamber intermediate and then elite, like individually, but the intermediate one was pretty easy, like three skeleton keys was not too shabby. It was pretty easy. The 8th one is a beast and a half to actually do, so it was actually really interesting. So I'm going to knock out the first one, and then we'll probably try and knock out the second one as well. We'll see how things go, but to try and at least show you guys how best to approach it. So in the meantime, just to kind of go over this real quick, what I've been doing with my keys, I've been doing Castle Keep Advance in the meantime, kind of because I don't need the actual things yet for the crysts. I've been just trying to level up as many units as possible and make a little bit more extra money because I've been spending it a lot on the expeditions. For Halloween Dungeon, this is something that's debatable right now. People are saying, oh yeah, well, in Castle Dungeon Beginner, if you get a bonus every single time, you will actually get more than the Castle Dungeon Elite. I've done some tests myself, and as well as I've seen what other people have been testing. It honestly doesn't matter. There is no difference between Castle Dungeon Beginner and Elite. If you did 20 runs, in the end it's gonna even out. It's about like 3.1 keys out of like the energy of like 500 or something. Because you might do like 50 runs of Castle Dungeon Beginner, you might get like 1 or 2 bonus, whereas going through the Castle Dungeon Elite, it's the same thing. In the end, it rounds out. So it doesn't really matter which ones you're doing. Castle Dungeon Beginner is a lot easier. You can just auto it, don't even think about it. The Elite requires a little bit more better units, but otherwise it's still pretty easy. So overall, same thing. The Castle Keep, it's up to you what you need. You just spend your keys where it is. Like I said, I'm doing the advanced one because I like the turtles and I like the leveling materials. Alright, and then the inner chamber. So let's go and do I have enough? I do have enough, yes. We'll do this first one. The quest is complete the quest, use a light attack or light attacks. Fina needs to be in the party and clear without any ally being KO'd for an attack 15 bonus. So these are the items from the previous event. Alright. Just because let me see if there's anything worthwhile to bring here. It's just gonna be a pretty quick run through actually. I mean, I'll bring the Onion Knight. This is the party I've been kind of bringing along. I'm just gonna switch over into Fina. Unless I sent her on an expedition, then we're just gonna bring whatever. It doesn't really matter because I'm not gonna use her for anything anyway. There she is. There is Fina. Hello. This is what she was wearing last time as well. Nothing for gear. It doesn't matter. It doesn't say anything about her dying or not. But obviously you want to gear your party as best as you can. Have a solid tank. Again, my tank hasn't been changing his gear much from the previous events. I just put Ring of the Lucia. I kind of just put stuff on him to make sure that he's got something on there. My big hitter right now is going to be my Orlando. Again, any unit that does light damage is going to be suffice to make sure you get that stuff. Make sure you put on Undead Killer or Demon Killer, or depending whatever you're required. I believe this guy is Undead. This one here has Plant Killer, which is going to be for the next boss. I'm just going to leave the gear as is, and then Fina is like that. Putting on the Respectful Killers is going to make this a lot easier. So jumping into the first one. Again, this one should be pretty easy for everyone to do. The second one is a lot harder. So this is the Skeleton Right. You're looking at him for tier 1, and then the last elite fight, which is going to come out in a day or two, is going to be the really hard one. So what I did for this one was I will full break. You do magic and attack. Make sure that we don't take a beating from him. And depending what kind of units you brought, this is going to either be very quick, or you're going to need to do maybe 2 turns or so. But I will show you my part here. So I'm going to click on Cheer. So I'm going to test it out. 60, 87. Yeah, so this guy doesn't have a lot of hit points, as you can tell there. Whatever. Deep blue, I guess. Oh, good boys. So it's not even a perfect chain. I mean, like, yeah, I saw that he's got like a few million life. Overall, he doesn't hit very hard. Fire damage. Meteor. Not too shabalicious. It's not overly terrible. It's not super hard. I mean, I like I said, I don't think you guys should have too much trouble. Not much else you can say for this one. If you're having a really hard time fighting this one, the next boss is going to be pretty hard. The requirement for those who are struggling is going to be make sure you bring Riku. You're going to definitely need that re-raise if you can't kill him in the 10 turns. My advice for those who are struggling is break this one apart into two fights. So I only have 8 keys. I will try my best to try and complete this here so that we can all kind of get it done. But essentially, break it apart into 2. I would bring Laswell and maybe... yeah, finish the boss with a limit burst. So Laswell in the party and finish with the limit burst, I'd probably do together, and then defeat the boss within 10 turns. You're gonna want to bring a party that's hitting pretty hard. So as of right now, because it costs a lot of keys, and we haven't gotten the new event, which is going to be the more difficult one. Once that one comes out, and I don't really need the use for keys anymore, I will come back and revisit this and try and find a party that is more free to play and a little bit easier for you to utilize and maybe accomplish. To defeat this. But most strategies I'm seeing is people are trying to do some chains. If you don't have Orlando, I'm hoping that you had at least 1 Agrius or maybe 2 Agriuses and you had enough materials to awaken them. And by that I mean getting their Divine Ruination +1, or at least one of them into +1/+2. Then you can bring a friend Orlando and you can do just pretty much the same thing I'm going to be doing right now. If we can find an Orlando friend, we're gonna, yeah, there's one right there. Bob, does he have light? Perfect, that's all I'm looking for. I'm looking for Excalibur. So essentially, since I don't have any Agriuses leveled up, I would probably bring an Agrius and an Orlando, or 2 Agriuses and an Orlando, but because I have the Orlandos, I'm gonna bring the Orlandos along, because why not? I have 3 of them. There's my 3rd one there, yay. Where, there's an Agrius there. Agrius. What we need for this one is Laswell. Where is Laswell? I was just looking at you, you crazy. I just had you. I just had you. There he is. Alright, so this is the party I brought to beat this boss. You need a tank. It's a must. Bringing units that can do a break for attack is also probably very important. I would also say that having dark resistance, fire resistance is going to be pretty good too. Probably dark resistance because he's got this one move that's probably going to devastate my party as well. But I don't want to change anything because this is the way I beat it originally, and I just want to kind of show you guys exactly how I did it. It's gonna, if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't work out, you're gonna see that it's actually not a super easy fight. Okay, so let's jump on in. All right, actually, you know what? Let's do this really quick. There it is. Before we jump right into it, I just wanted to show you guys this this boss, if you're unaware, and why I'm saying it's going to be a little bit harder. He's got 38 million life, so what you really want to do is you want to make sure that you're bringing chainers. If you don't have strong units, if you have units that begin chains, then you can bring a friend unit that's strong to finish a chain, or that can chain into it at least to a certain degree so that you can actually get some bigger damage out of it. Otherwise, it's going to be a really slow process, and getting that 10-turn kill is going to be hard. The reason I'm trying to bring as many units that have light damage is because he's already weak to light, so anything else that reduces it is just going to benefit from it. Looking at his abilities, you can kind of pause this and take a look to see if there's anything that's going to be very troublesome for you. The one that's really the most troublesome is going to be Soul Blaster. At least that's the way I see it, and probably Reap Blood, because he steals hit points and he takes it from yourself. MP, I mean, Reap Soul could also be pretty bad, depending how low you're on your MP and how long the fight drags on. But Soul Blaster, I can almost guarantee that when I'm going to be fighting right now, I'm probably going to get killed on Soul Blaster. Soul Blaster is activated once he falls under the 20%. So ideally, you don't want to go like 50% to 20%. It's going to be really harsh, because he'll do like Reap Blood and like Soul Blaster. Especially if you're really lucky, you're gonna get that. Plus, he's gonna attack a bunch of times while he's doing that. Okay, just by looking at the stuff down here, I always like to see what people's comps are. So looking down here, you can see the different kinds of groups. So you guys can maybe pause the video here and kind of take a look at what other people are doing as far as groups. As you can see here, it's very evident that unless that people are trying to do challenges and trying to figure something out, Warrior of Light is very prominent here, as well as Riku. You can see there's a lot of people here that are bringing Riku, and the reason is really because there's two different ways of doing it. You can blow them up really quickly, and then like the 5th turn, all your units will die, they get res back up, and now you have literally, you know, 4 turns, 5 turns, depending, to clean up whatever is the rest of it, right? I mean, well, technically 4 turns, to clean up the rest of the fight. So that's gonna be depending how you're doing, right? If you don't get to at least like 50%ish or like a little bit below 50%, I would say probably in like the 30 to 40% before 5 turns, you're gonna have a hard time, especially depending on how you're getting there. If you're chaining, then you might be able to pull a cat out of the hat. Otherwise, you're gonna have a rough time. But essentially, that's kind of how it is. Like Warrior of Light, Laswell, you have to bring, and then you have a couple of units that you want to kind of utilize. My other advice to you is if you have a strong unit that chains pretty well, try and find a friend unit that is similar to your unit, so that way they can chain. And especially if you can put a light weapon on them, it's going to be that much easier. Alright, so I'm just going to minimize this. So there you go, my party. Actually, let me show you my gear. That's that. I'll just go through it pretty quickly, and you can stop if you really want to look into it to see what's going on. I'm not going to try and do non-TM ones here, because this fight otherwise will take really long. Like I said, I'll probably make a video a little bit later on doing something a little bit more fun, probably maybe doing like all story units or whatever. The friend companion, sure, same thing. He doesn't really have any killer effects or anything. What I'm gonna do here real quick is I'm going to take you, just organize it like this, so it's gonna be boom boom here, boom boom. Okay, perfect. The other thing is, if you have pods, bring pods. Bring the units with pods so you can do some chaining and give that unit that has the pod a light weapon so that your other units can chain off of them. I would probably bring no other elements other than light, because that's really the best thing to do. Alright, so we got all the Orlandos in a line. Turn 1, we want to full break him to try and get that attack down. So we don't have any attack down, so that's rough. We're going to cast Regenerate here. And then here we defense break. He doesn't have anything else. Alright. Yeah, in this case, we're just gonna go for the damage. Divine Ruination. Divine Ruination. Divine Ruination. I'm just gonna take a look. So I want him to be the last one on the button. Okay, so it's gonna be like this. So you want to make sure that your strongest hitting unit is the one that's chaining at the end, so he gets the biggest boost to damage. So there we go, we got 5 turns. This turn, we're gonna give her a deep blue. For him, we're gonna make him light within us, so he jumps in front of everyone. And what we're gonna do is, I think this guy's the weakest one. He's got 956. So what he's gonna do for me, I'm gonna try and get that break again, attack and magic. So I'm gonna try and get him to apply that break. It's really important because he hits like a goddamn truck. Alright, and then the rest of these guys are gonna try and chain. Alright, so I'm gonna start it off. We're getting pretty close to that 50%, and I got that attack down, which is solid. Even with the attack, he's still hitting my Orlandos for 1,000 damage. It's really big. But as you can see, the Warrior of Light is just soaking that up. It's easy peasy lemon squeezy for that cat. This round, we're gonna do Emboldened by this guy. We're gonna heal up to full. You wanna stay at as high as possible, because when you get him to 20%, more than likely he's gonna probably poop on your party. It's gonna be rough. Okay, so I'm just gonna use the Orlandos this round, and I'm gonna make him buff my defense, because I'm gonna get pooped on. Oh, that failed miserably. Alright, what are we gonna get to? Hopefully not to 20%. Okay, good. So now we're gonna, yeah, there it is, Reaping Soul. So we got one of his breaks there. So next round, he's gonna smack me silly with his dark damage. I'm probably gonna struggle really bad on that one. Really bad. I'm thinking about it right now. I'm gonna get spanked really bad on it. So, in that case, since I don't have any like dark resistance buffs, what I'm going to do is I'm actually, because I have Laswell, that's going to be done. Finished boss with limit burst is going to be a little bit more. This here is a little bit easier for me. Alright. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Laswell here to give MP to Phantom. So Phantom's going to get MP that turn. I'm going to heal everybody to full. Even though we really don't need it because the regen is gonna give everybody back. The spirit buff is up. As we can see, spirit is already up. So we'll just heal him just for the sake. And as far as Warrior of Light goes, he already has the cover. The best thing really to do with him is probably defend, to make him take less damage, but he's not going to be the one we're worried about dying here. He's going to be okay. I'm worried about the Orlando's dying because they're squished. Like, one of my Orlando's has got 4,800 life. He's pretty swish bananas for sure. So either way, I'm probably going to take this turn to reapply light with us to make sure I don't have to worry about it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do just a double Orlando Divine Ruination. Because if I do full balls and it chains perfectly, it'll actually kill him. It'll actually kill him. Yeah, it will kill him. It will kill him for sure. Okay, I don't want to do that. So let's go 1-2. Just feel it out. Alright, this is pretty good. So I'm actually going to... just do crushing weapon. 20, because when you break the 20%, that's when he's gonna do that big move. Laswell is down! Baby girl Laswell, no! Alright. Laswell is gonna get raised right now. We'll raise Laswell. Easy peasy. Laswell's up. Get healed full. He's probably gonna die next turn anyways. This is gonna be silly anyways. Here we go. Perfect. Gonna defend. Here it goes. This is gonna be the big move. He's gonna hit. Oh wait, where did he go? He didn't do it. Oh my. He actually didn't do it. Or was that last turn? Oh, it must have been last turn. That's why he died? I'm gonna have to watch this video myself because I didn't see that dark move. I was paying attention too much to the percentage. My. I did not realize that. Anyway, so in this position, I'm just gonna get these two guys to do Divine Ruination because that's more, that's 6% should be fine. I can even do it with this guy too, but that should be plenty. So 1-2, boom, boom, boom. Make sure that I get that limit burst kill. Oh, yikes. So obviously with my party, it's gonna take it took 4 turns, but if you bring Riku and you take it nice and slow and you try and get him as low as you can to 20%, and then pop Riku's limit burst right before you break the 20% so you don't take that crazy damage, and then if your whole party dies, no problem, they all get risen back up, and then you really have the 4 or 5 turns to kind of do it as quick as possible. The alternative is to make sure, like, you know, you pop up Riku's limit burst as soon as possible. Whatever unit dies, you know they're not going to die next, and you're good to go. I don't believe safety pin works in this case. I had it at one point, but I never got to that to kind of experience it. So once the next version comes out, which is going to be in 2 days, then I'm gonna probably come back and do the elite version, the intermediate version, as well as the newest version with with like different kinds of units to try and show you how I would beat it if I was to, you know, bring maybe all story units or bringing some weaker items. But again, to let you guys know the truth and how I honestly feel about this elite version is kind of a curveball. 38 million life is a lot of life. That's actually a lot to have more like a time to beat it in 10 turns. It's kind of like a curve, right? It's like a bell curve in a sense for the event, trying to kind of weed out people from almost not getting all the loot. But it's definitely attainable. My advice is to probably break it apart into 2 turns, like I said earlier. Break it apart into 2 turns. In one party, bring Laswell and try and get the limit burst kill. Take it nice and slow. You know, like exceed the 10 turns. Who cares? Just take it slow. Bring Riku and go, go, go. And then come back later on with more of like a glass cannon build where you're just trying to blow them up as fast as possible, where, you know, you're trying to eliminate them, you know, within those 10 turns. Okay, guys? So that's pretty much what I've been doing right now. Like I said, I'm going to keep farming the advanced version in the meantime till the last event comes out. And once I got that pat down, then I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I might start farming the elite version for the castle keep to try and get some extra, you know, crysts for the future, but that's pretty much where it is right now. Alright guys, let me know in the comment section if you guys are struggling on this inner keep. Are you having a hard time on the intermediate or the elite? I do expect people to have trouble on the elite. The first time I tried it, I got raped, so I know how it is. So let me know in the comment section below how you guys are doing, and then we'll go from there, guys. Alright, I'll see you again in a couple of days for the remainder of this event, and see what we can do to try and help each other, help each other out. Alright guys, cool, thanks, awesome, awesome possum. Alright guys, I will see you in the next video. This is Vortie, and I'm out of here. Peace.
I said it.